Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and it's good to see you all here today. So, we've been discussing the Heart Sutra, and I'm thinking this may be the last time I ever try to talk about the Heart Sutra. It seems like last time, several years ago, we discussed the Heart Sutra. It was easier to talk about. It seems almost several fold more difficult this time, and I think perhaps the best commentary on the Heart Sutra is another 30 minutes of silence, but I won't do that today. So the Heart Sutra involves a conversation, but it's somewhat one-sided conversation, more like a monologue. And the Bodhisattva of compassion, Avalokiteshvara, is in a sense giving instruction to Shariputra, a historical figure, one of the Buddha's disciples, known for his analytic abilities, for his philosophical expertise. And Avalokiteshvara is talking to Shariputra about wisdom, which may seem a little strange for this representative of compassion or love to be talking to this wise disciple about wisdom. But that's how it's set up. And the last time we went through a portion of the Heart Sutra that ended, Shariputra, all dharmas are marked by emptiness. It continues on from there. They neither arise nor cease, are neither defiled nor pure, neither increase nor decrease. Therefore, given emptiness, there is no form, no sensation, no perception, no formation, no body, no mind, no consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no object of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of mind consciousness. Well, we'll start with the first part of that. They neither arise nor cease, are neither defiled nor pure. These dharmas, these things, these phenomena. In this case, dharma refers to things, phenomena, sort of separate things. And Avalokiteshvara is telling Shariputra that they are all marked by emptiness. Now, this emptiness is a concept that is difficult to describe. And there are obviously many books written about, well, what is emptiness here? But one way of talking about it is that it's the quality of being not separate from everything else, from having no fixed essence. No stability, in a way, that everything is in process. And not only is it in process, it's in process included within a greater, much greater, a boundless process. One might say the unfolding of the universe. That everything is involved in this. And the separateness that we create through our concepts, through our mode of awareness, our mode of perception is artificial in a way. So, since these separate things do not have any essential essence, these characteristics, the characteristics of arising and ceasing, being defiled or pure, neither increasing nor decreasing, are a consequence of our separating things out. So that's why Avalokiteshvara is insisting that they don't really increase or decrease. They aren't really defiled or pure. They don't really arise and cease. It's a consequence of our separating them out that gives them that appearance. But another way of viewing things is that it's all together. It's all part of that greater process, that unfolding. Our notions of increasing and decreasing, for instance, have to do with our perception of a separate thing that is imposed upon a time grid. And time is itself dependent on our capacity for memory. If we had no memory, everything would just be what it is. But since we can remember with some degree of fallibility what things were like a few moments ago and see what they're like now, we have the impression of increasing and decreasing. Without all of that, everything would be just what it is. And then you get into this section, which goes on for quite a while in the Heart Sutra, and can be very confusing, of all the no's. Know this, know that. What do these no's mean? Therefore, given emptiness, there is no form, no sensation, no perception, no formation, no consciousness. Referring to those things that had been called empty in the preceding section. That form is empty, sensation empty, formation empty, consciousness empty. So, in a way, all the no's are a way of reinforcing what has been previously said. That these elements of our personality, or what we perceive as our personality, our body, our feelings, our sensations, the way we perceive things, become aware of them, label them, the way we have ideas about them and form concepts and plans with them. In fact, our total awareness. Is empty, dependent on everything else. So, in a way, this process of separation that we engage in is artificial, taking things out of context. So no form, no sensation, no perception, no formation, no consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. So here, Avalokiteshvara is going into the sense organs. And in the East, as opposed to in Western culture, there are 6 senses instead of 5. The mind is considered a sense organ. And the objects of mind are thoughts or concepts, words. He goes on, no sight, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind. So these are the objects of the sense organs, and then he goes into the consciousness of sensation, the consciousness of sight, the consciousness of smell and taste, etc. Until no realm of mind consciousness. So there's a story about the person who became the Zen master Dangshan. And Dangshan was considered a founder of the Kaozhong branch of Buddhism, of Zen Buddhism, which evolved into Soto Zen. And in fact, the Soto refers to the fact that Dangshan was also in Japanese called Sozan, so. There was also a Tozan, and the two of them collaborated, apparently. But in any case, this is a story about Dangshan as a young boy. And his family appreciated that he was a very sharp young man. And at a young age, I think 6 or 8, something like this, he was sent to a teacher, and many of the teachers at that time were monastics. And upon hearing the Heart Sutra, the young Dangshan said, "Wait a minute, I have a nose, I have ears." And his teacher, being perceptive, said, "Young man, you will be a great teacher someday." And that turned out to be the case. His teacher sent him on to another location where he could get more advanced training. Why did his teacher conclude that he would be a great teacher? Because he was willing to ask the naive question. And we have some people in our group here who are very good at asking the naive question, which often turns out to be the most penetrating question. So yes, we have eyes and ears. So why do we say there's no eyes and no ears? It's a different way of looking at things. Now, recently I have been sort of interested in ears because I recently got hearing aids. With age, the human ear tends to lose high frequency sensitivity. The human hearing range ideally is between 20 and 20,000 cycles per second. These refer to vibrations per second in the air. So the ears can detect these vibrations and somehow turn them into a consciousness of sound, which is a remarkable process that involves having a source of sound, having air to vibrate, having the ear to detect those vibrations, having a auditory nerve to take the signal in the form of an electrical impulse to a portion of the brain that can somehow give us the experience of hearing a sound, a remarkable thing. So it reminds me, there's much in the news about artificial intelligence, and we're, of course, expending a great deal of energy and effort and fossil fuels on perfecting artificial intelligence, which essentially predicts the next data element given a series of prior data elements, which can lead to some interesting phenomena, some interesting results. But all of that is dwarfed by the awesomeness of your average 6-year-old child. Who can hear a sound, experience a sound, and respond to it. Amazing. So, the human auditory range, as I mentioned, between 20 and 20,000 cycles per second. But a cat can detect sound up to greater than 60,000 cycles per second. And a bat up to 200,000 cycles per second. So we have the impression that we're just hearing everything when we walk through the world, but we're just hearing a small sector of the auditory range compared with other creatures. Why is that? Well, our ears have evolved to meet the needs of our body, to allow us to detect predators and prey, to allow our ancestors, anyway, to detect such things, so that we could hear the tiger in the jungle, we could hear perhaps the rabbit rustling in the bushes. Cats, on the other hand, have different needs, and they need to be able to hear smaller things, like the very subtle rustling of a mouse behind the stove. And bats, of course. I mean, we don't really need hearing up to 200,000 cycles per second because we don't fly around at night catching insects. So all of this, our ears are within a much wider, greater context. And in that sense, they're empty of separate essence. They're just part of a much greater process. But our ability to separate things out has a useful function. It is a skillful means. Yes, this notion of separation between my body and another person's body is, in a sense, just a way of looking at things, but it serves an important social function. I mean, I get up in the morning and wash my face and brush my teeth. But if I were to get up in the morning and wash your face and brush your teeth, I mean, it would just not serve social harmony. It would probably have just an effect of arousing surprise or perhaps anger or even violence. So looking at things in the worldly way is important. But also looking at things given emptiness is important. And as we go along, we'll see how these ways of looking at things, these modes of awareness, are both important, but prajna, wisdom, is even beyond all that. And prajna, wisdom, represents the middle way. Dogen has a way of saying this, that nirvana occurs within samsara. That wisdom includes the worldly. So I think we'll stop there, and with a question, I guess, about whether any of this makes sense to you, whether you're aware of these different modes of experience and when you experience them. And how to weave all of this into a way of being in the world. A rather open-ended way to end things, but I think I'll stop there with that. And we'll, maybe you can think of examples. We'll go into breakout rooms and then get back together in a few minutes. I appreciate your listening today. Thank you for being here.